Welcome everybody. I'm very happy to be joined by the trainer Abel Sanchez. How are you, Abel?
I'm doing well. How are you guys?
I'm very good, thank you. All better for speaking to you. First of all, let's talk about last Saturday. Golovkin was absolutely outstanding against David Lemieux. You must be over the moon with the performance.
You know what? We're very proud of the fact that he followed the game plan and he did exactly what we talked about in practice in the gym, just to show another layer of his abilities.
Yeah, and I heard you talking in an interview after the fight, and you were kind of expecting middle rounds knockout from Golovkin over Lemieux. Were you surprised with how tough Lemieux was?
No, what I was surprised at is that Lemieux really did do what he said he was going to do. Lemieux said he was going to come at Golovkin and try to knock Golovkin out, but he never took a chance. If he would have taken a chance, it would have been a quicker night. Golovkin was just practicing the things that we did in the gym, and since there was no urgency to do anything else, he just methodically broke him down before the referee did break his stop.
And I thought the stoppage was good. I thought the performance was outstanding. Obviously, there was the last time we spoke was recently after the William Monroe Jr. fight, and Golovkin came under quite a bit of criticism from the fight and how easy he was able to hit. I watched the short HBO documentary about how ill he was the night before the fight. From what I've seen, there were lots of lemons on the table, so he was obviously trying to get rid of the illness straight away.
Are you talking about the Monroe fight or the Rosado fight?
I believe it was the Willie Monroe fight.
No. He was sick before the Rosado fight.
Oh, was it the Rosado fight? Was it? Okay, my mistake.
Yeah.
But hence he was still given a bit of criticism before the Willie Monroe fight. You must have been very happy. He sort of really seemed to step up his game against Lemieux in a much bigger fight.
No, you know what? After he knocked down Monroe in the second round, it would have been an easy night for him to do what he done in the sixth. It would have been just as easy to do it in the third. But he honestly, if you look at the fight, he let Monroe in the fight so that Monroe could make a fight out of it. But Monroe just didn't have the desire to make it any better than it was. So at the point where he was allowing him to come on the fight, Monroe didn't have not only the ability, but the desire to make it a tougher fight for Golovkin. So when Golovkin saw in the sixth round that there wasn't a possibility, that's when he just threw 3 or 4 punches and stopped the fight.
Yeah.
You know, so it wasn't Monroe that made that fight seem like a difficult fight. It was Golovkin that allowed him to back into the fight. And that just goes to show you in this fight that when he wants to, there's nobody going to touch him.
Yeah. Well, it certainly looked like that, especially in the current middleweight division. Talking about young fighters this side of the water, Chris Eubank Jr. is Eddie Hearn won't shut up about him fighting Golovkin. How much? Obviously, he's got the WBA interim belt. I've been getting press releases from Matchroom themselves saying we're running straight towards Golovkin. What's your thoughts on this? So obviously, he's nowhere near Golovkin's level yet. I would say that. I think most people would agree. Have you heard much about this talk? Is it something that's come up to you?
Unfortunately, a lot of the siblings of some of the great fighters, like Chavez Jr., the son of Chavez Sr., who was a great fighter, and Chris Eubank Sr. was a very good fighter. Some of the siblings don't always live up to the expectations of the fathers and the expectations of what the fathers did. And I think that Chris Sr. has been looking at his son through rose-colored glasses and looking at him more like a father and not like a trainer. But Chris Jr. wasn't even able to handle BJ Saunders, who he lost to. Yeah. And unfortunately for Junior, they're not matching him against the kind of fighters that are going to make him learn, that are going to make him improve his game. This young next fight that he's fighting a 40-year-old man who's not even shouldn't even be a challenge to him. After that, he's fighting a guy that also Saunders beat in Sullivan, O'Sullivan. So Eubank has got a long ways to go to even be considered as a challenger for Golovkin. Even though he's the interim champion doesn't mean that he's ready to get hurt against a guy like Golovkin.
Okay, well, I'd agree with you on all of that. Talking about what else is going on in the middleweight division, we've got, obviously, people were talking about Cotto and Canelo. I saw something today which was quite interesting, bringing up this catchweight thing, which drives me nuts. Canelo said he would fight him a catchweight of 155, and at the moment, I believe he's weighing in about 168. I don't really know. You know, will you guys, considering you guys have got all the belts at the moment, that shouldn't really be something you're made to do. It all seems a bit peculiar to me.
Canelo has got a very tough fight on the 21st of November. Then whomever wins, whether it be Canelo or Cotto, has to defend that belt that they're fighting for, which is the WBC belt against Golovkin, and they have 15 days to make up their mind after that fight. Okay. If they decide that they want to vacate because Golovkin refuses to go down any more than 150, because that is the limit for that division, then they can do so. Golovkin will then be the middleweight champion. Team Golovkin's ideas have been that he wants to be the unified, undisputed middleweight champion. And if it's Cotto or Canelo or somebody else that we fight for the belt or fight after as a mandatory, it doesn't matter to us as long as it's for the WBC 160-pound belt. Yeah.
Okay. Well, good to clear that up. And obviously, it sounds like Gennady looks to carry on going at this sort of 4-fight-a-year pace. Is that something you're looking to do?
I sure hope so. Of course, politics and dates, available dates, will have a lot to say about that. But hopefully, after the 21st, that gets ironed out, and we have a fight sometime at the beginning of the year. And then after that, Andy Lee has expressed interest in facing Golovkin, so that's another fight next year. So hopefully that does happen. I hope this 4 fights a year, because he is not a young man. He's 33 years old, and I'd like to get as many fights in. He would like to get as many fights in as possible before it's time to hang him up.
Yeah, definitely. One thing I did want to talk about is the atmosphere. Sadly, I haven't had the opportunity to go to a Golovkin fight live, but from what I'm hearing, the atmosphere at Golovkin fights are like nothing else. So it makes the hair stand up on your back of your neck sort of stuff. That seems to be, like New York is very popular, LA was very popular. Where are you trying to find more sort of like a home ground for Golovkin now, or is that not really possible with the sort of fights?
No, I think that our plan from the beginning, Tom Loeffler, the promoter, and Herman Brothers, his managers, the plan from the beginning was to make sure that he was a world champion and he would fight anywhere there was a viable venue and a viable fight that made a lot of sense financial-wise. But he's willing to go to England. He's willing to go anywhere in the world where there's that possibility for a big fight. Obviously, New York has been the home for the last 3 or 4 big fights for him, but we fought in Panama, we fought in Kazakhstan, we fought in Germany. So he's willing to go anywhere that Tom and the Herman Brothers can put together a good opportunity for us.
Fantastic. Well, it'd be great to see him out over in the UK. I remember, to be fair, you might laugh, but there have been rumours of the Froch saying, maybe I'll come out of retirement for the Golovkin fight. But I know that's a fight you guys would love. That at Wembley Stadium, that would be amazing. But Froch doesn't. Really...
Yeah, that's not a laughing matter. I think that Froch is a great champion, had a great career. That he decided to retire, and when Golovkin was saying that he would fight him, that was a good choice for him, because he made the choice. When these guys can go out on their own terms and decide to retire because they want to retire, I think that's a great thing. I think that they put in the time as professional fighters, and usually it's 20 years or more. These guys fight for a long time. So when he decided to retire, I was happy for him. But if he decides to come back, I think that Wembley Stadium would be an ideal place for the great Carl Froch and Gennady Golovkin to fight.
Yeah. And I'll just chuck this at you, Abel. With we've been talking about other middleweight fighters. A lot of people are saying Golovkin's in a league on his own in the middleweight division. Hence why a lot of people are saying move up to super middle. People are even talking about Andre Ward, which that can't really happen due to the size of the two guys.
No. That's not the reason why it can't happen.
No,
that's not the reason why it can't happen. No, Golovkin's rise, in such a quick rise that he's done, is because of the planning of Tom Loeffler and the Herman brothers. The planning, all these fights that are happening today are happening because they were planned years ago. All these things were set up so that if Golovkin was successful in a particular fight, the next one's already set up, and the next one's already set up. In Andre's case, it's been talked about, but Andre had issues with, first of all, Goosen. Goosen Tudor, he had issues, and then when he signed with Rock Nation, the folks at Rock Nation and Andre made mention that they needed 2 tune-up fights. Well, in the meantime, he doesn't even know what he wants to do. So the Golovkin team is not going to sit around and wait for Andre Ward to make up his mind. We have other opportunities to be pursuing. And when he makes up his mind, maybe down the road, 2017, that fight will be possible when he's busy. But he's only had one fight, and that was against Paul Smith, a guy that was number 5 super middleweight in the UK. He's fighting a guy from Australia in his next fight, and it's not even at 168; it's at 175, I believe.
It's not great opponent.
He's going away from us. So I don't understand what their plans are, but we can't sit around waiting for them to decide what it is they want to do. Golovkin has got his next year 3 or 4 fights already planned out. Of course, hoping that everything goes well in each fight. But if that fight happens to be, it won't be because of size. It will be because Andre Ward's team came to our team and decided to negotiate for a future fight.
Okay, very interesting. And okay, and in the middleweight itself, who would you say is the biggest threat to Gennady out there at the moment?
I would say I've always said that Carl was a big threat at 168 because of his arm style. He had long arms, tall guy, and is a very good fighter. So I think in the middleweight that are left right now, I think that Peter Quillen would present a good challenge to Golovkin just because, again, of his height, long arms, good boxer, decent power. But unfortunately, he is in a situation with PBC that they're in a different league. I don't understand the whole politics of it, but good fighters and great fighters should be fighting good fighters and great fighters. And unfortunately, that's not the situation on that side, right?
Yeah, I think sadly because of the PBC HBO thing, it's unlikely it will happen, to be honest. But yeah, would be a great fight. Okay, well, brilliant to get your thoughts on Gennady. What else do you have going on at the moment? I know you look after a few guys at the moment.
Yes, we have Denis Shafikov fighting December 5th for the lightweight IBF lightweight title.
Oh, fantastic!
Against Francis Barthelemy, I believe that's in Miami. At the Barclays Center.
Oh, okay.
Then I have on the 7th Konstantin Ponomarev fighting on the Rios Bradley card in Las Vegas. Also on that same date, I have Freddie Lawson fighting in Miami against Kevin Bizier for the number 1 spot in the IBF welterweight. And in the wings, we haven't got a date from. Hopefully, it's in December. A young man named Murat Gassiev, who's a cruiserweight, 22 years old, 22-0, and I think that's the next Golovkin to come out of my gym.
Really? Is he one to watch, is he?
He is one to watch, yes.
Oh, fantastic. And I suppose having someone like Golovkin around those guys, that must really spur them on.
Oh, absolutely. And I have one more. I have Sullivan Barrera fighting on the 12th of December.
Of course you do, yeah.
For the number 1 spot in the IBF also.
Okay. Well, fantastic.
At the light heavyweight. But yeah, having Golovkin in the gym is very inspirational for the rest of the guys. They see how he works. They see how he works as hard as everybody else, and even though he's at the level that he is, but they understand that the reason he's at that level is because of his hard work and his ethics and his character and how he does his thing in the gym.
Excellent. Well, excellent. Well, it all sounds like it's very exciting what's going on out there. One other thing I wanted to just touch on before we leave. Carson Jones, a big kind of favourite in the UK. I saw you were over with him on the Brian Rose fight. Is that still a working relationship between you and Carson? You know,
Carson has a spot in my heart because he's when first opened up this gym, he came and he worked hard, and we went to England and fought Kel and had a great fight. And
It was a great
anytime
fight.
Carson wants me to help him, I'll help him.
No, cool.
I think that he's one of a kind. He may not have the stellar record, but he works his butt off and really gives you everything he's got when he's not only in a fight but in the gym.
Excellent. Well, brilliant. Well, it's been so nice to catch up with you, Abel. It's been great to hear what's going on and your thoughts on what else is going on in boxing. And I suppose just wish you all the best moving forward.
Thank you very much. It's nice talking to you, and keep an eye out for my guys because they're coming.
Excellent. We will do. All right. You take care, Abel. Thanks so much for your time.
Okay, thank you.
All the best.
Thank you very much. Have a great